It's 11 o'clock.
Well, I guess that's our cue.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ellie Feldman. I'm the Managing Director of Wingman Insurance. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a tough time to be talking about cyber, but we're going to plow through and hope that we give you some important information that might help. I'm joined with my partner in crime, Brad Schrum. Brad, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Brad Schrum, Chief Underwriting Officer and Growth Officer at Wingman. And thank you for joining us.
All right, take it away, Brad. This is your show. I'm just here to ask questions.
We're going to be talking about cyber insurance for your clients, and this is the agency best practices. I don't expect that this is going to be very long, but what we wanted to share with you today are some best practices that are working for agencies writing cyber business. So, little quote: a best practice is often not what everyone else is doing, but what is possible to achieve. So here, what we call our top 6 best practices that we see are working out in the marketplace. Okay, first and foremost, brokers who are offering cyber to 100% of their customers and prospects, regardless of size and class of business. This is certainly number one out there for obvious reasons: to protect your customers, number one, and obviously to protect your E&O, number 2. Okay, thank you.
Brad, what do you think the concerns are if you're not offering cyber insurance to all of your insureds? If you're waiting for them, for example, to ask you for the insurance?
If you're waiting for them, they're probably not going to ask for it unless they've had a loss or an issue. That would be number one. Number 2, a lot of policies today don't have cyber, or the amount of cyber they have is very limited to nothing.
So what do you recommend being the minimum limit for somebody to sell to make it an effective cyber policy?
I'd say usually $1 million, Ellie, but a minimum of $500,000, which we do offer. So, but people ask a lot, and there are tools out there to determine somewhat of what limit a customer should purchase. Our recommendation: start with something and build from there, again, depending on the size of the risk. Okay. They have Wingman educate your staff on cyber, ransomware, and overcoming objections. We at Wingman provide a lot of material, whether it's written, video, or live like we're doing today, and educating your staff on how to sell cyber, and as well as educating everyone on the coverages, terms and conditions. It makes a difference. We find that everybody always goes to their comfort zone and not to areas they just don't feel comfortable. And when that happens, usually cyber is on the end of, I don't understand it, I'm just not going to sell it. It can be complex, it can be very formidable, but we're here to help you. Okay? We also find that brokers make the Wingman marketing material their own material. We at Wingman have developed a lot of tools for you that you make your own. We don't want you to send anything out with our name. Put your name on it. It tends to be more effective. If you are an agent of Wingman or a broker of Wingman, you know how to use that when you go into the tools sections under marketing. If you want to become a Wingman agent, this is what would happen: is you just put your name on there.
Yeah, that seems like a great idea, Brad. I mean, that way the agent actually gets to look like the industry expert while being able to call us with questions that the insured might have.
Exactly. And that also would apply to the application goes out with your name, as well as the proposals go out with your agency's logo on it. It's been very, very effective in the marketplace.
And certainly a time saver, so you don't have to make your own quote letters. You can just use the ones that are generated from our computer system.
Exactly. Thanks for that, Ellie. Appreciate that. You educate your customers on the need to purchase monoline cyber. And we can go through the features and benefits as to why your customers should purchase monoline cyber, from cost to coverage, carrier expertise, all those things, as to why they should buy a monoline cyber policy. And again, we can give you a lot of information to pass along to your clients.
Well, just as a refresher for everybody who's on the call here, what is a typical, what's the primary differences between a monoline cyber policy and, say, a package or BOP add-on that makes a customer think that they have cyber insurance without actually giving them a ton of insurance?
That's a real good question, Ellie. One is, usually on BOP policies, it's a throw-in coverage, but the limits tend to be very low, like 100,000 or 250,000. Secondly, there's no first-party coverage. And a statistic I will share with all of you, approximately 75% of claims today are first-party, not even third-party. Third, if there are some coverages, you may not have ransomware, which is the number one frequency and severity of claims. And last but not least, does that carrier have expertise to respond to a cyber event within a relatively short period of time? Are they structured to handle it? So that's why customers should consider monoline cyber. And obviously, Ellie, the terms and conditions are totally different. Sometimes we see cyber policies that are added to packages that are relatively more expensive than monoline policies.
So what coverages should a broker look for specifically to make sure that they're offering actual cyber coverages to their insureds? Ransomware, you mentioned?
Oh, absolutely. It's ransomware. So obviously you want the first and third party. You want a ransomware, social engineering.
Or it might be called funds transfer fraud?
Correct. Or what they call is CEO fraud.
Okay.
Then we have invoice manipulation, or what they call reverse social engineering. And certainly we can get into that with our brokers. And bricking coverage, which to make it very simple for all of you on the phone, is basically hackers are very malicious and just decide that they just want to turn your computer on and you can never turn it on again. So you throw the brick out the window, your computer just became a brick. And then the business interruption coverages are so critical after you do have a cyber event. Those would be some of them.
Yeah, and we don't see a lot of business interruption on BOPs or some weaker cyber policies, but it is a really important coverage to have, right?
Correct. Yep.
And I do want to mention just that their business interruption can come also in first and third party. But what that means is that, a lot of times you'll see business interruption coverage on a policy and it'll be just if the business owns and operates its own computer systems. But in the modern age, most computer systems are by a third party vendor that you contract with. Think about your agency management system, for example. And you would be just as much out of luck if your agency management system went down and you have no control over that than if your just physical laptop went down. And so we got to make sure that there's coverage for both the systems that you own and the software that you contract with that you don't own, because either way, a business interruption loss could ensue.
Yep. Great addition. Thank you.
Okay. What else you got?
Oh, yeah, this is even more exciting. As a wingman broker, you can promote cyber quotes on your website, and that's really cool. each one of you in the agency get a unique URL that you can put on your website. So your clients can just click on that, complete the application with your logo on it. Once they complete it, it goes in the electronic file. You get an email and it says ready for quote, but you've got to approve it. We just don't let quotes go. And then the quote comes to you and you release it to your client. And there's only 5 questions, 5 total questions up to 100 million in revenue. But we give you a unique URL for your website and for you as well. And you'll see that on the next page where you can put it on your email right down at the bottom. So you would just have the URL if you wanted to put it on your personal business card, or you want to put it on your email signature, you can put it there too. And
So what exactly happens when someone clicks on a button or this specific link? Where does it take them?
It takes them right to our platform.
And they don't have to log in.
They don't have to log in. The client, and when it comes up, it has your logo on it, at your agency logo. And they complete it.
And they complete the application.
Yes. Then
and do they get a quote at the end?
No, they do not. The agency has to look at it first. We do not allow any quotes to go out without our agents or brokers reviewing the information.
So basically, it's just cutting down on the amount of time CSRs are typing data into a computer system, because it allows the insureds to, instead of filling it out on paper and sending it in, to fill it out themselves and get the process going a lot faster.
Correct. A lot faster. So there's no paper going back and forth. And you can promote cyber quotes in your agency social media. We've seen that work very well.
And just for anybody who's listening, if you're looking for content, whether you're a Wingman broker yet or not, we have social media channels on all the primary Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, that twice a week post really great content about cybersecurity and cybersecurity insurance. We post that content for anybody who wants to use it. It's more about just putting content out in the world that might help customers. So if you follow any of our social media channels, which are Wingman Insurance or Wingman INS, you will get the opportunity to see our content. And I'm giving you permission right now to just take that content. You don't even have to retweet it. Just like take the content, put it in your own feed, and go to town.
Great, Ellie, thanks. And then this has been super, super effective, is you use a rejection declination letter if the customer rejects the cyber insurance purchase. And actually, we've seen reverse psychology on this one, where the customer will say, if it's that important, I better buy it. But if they don't purchase it as of now, you should have them sign a rejection or declination letter, because the last thing you want to do is get that call at 1 o'clock in the morning that there's been a ransomware attack and I don't have coverage. So please, please, please use something to at least acknowledge that the customer has seen a quote and is not accepting it, but hopefully they will. We are seeing a hit ratio of about 35% right now. We can tell you 4 years ago it was 10. We expect that 35 in the next 2 years, I would say, to get to 50. So it's very useful tool in the sales process. And if you want us to look at it, we've seen some customized ones, and we're happy to look at those, or generic.
And I just want to throw in that, cyber has become an imperative for companies to buy. At the example that Brad just gave about, I've had a ransomware attack and I don't have coverage, it actually happens a lot in particularly those examples where somebody has a bot policy that has some sort of cyber add-on that isn't actually providing significant cyber coverage. So that customer thinks that they have cyber insurance, but what they really don't. And so they have a cyber breach incident that ends up not being covered. And then they're asking you, why didn't I have coverage for this, if it's the most common form of cyber breach? So we do encourage you to at least offer a standalone option, make sure that they know that they need to be buying it, and the massive benefits. We make a lot of marketing materials, as Brad mentioned, and one of those is a policy comparison so that you can look at what you're selling now against a really good policy and show them if it's worth the money or if it's even maybe cheaper to buy a good policy from a cyber expert.
Great. And just to let you know, we in the very near future will have a brand new cyber comparison. We get asked a lot about that, and where you can compare one form to another, and they are totally different. Totally different.
Yeah, we're actually working on a cyber rejection declination letter too for our customers, just because we found that this is such an important tool. They need to have it in their arsenal.
Yep. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, so what's not working out there? As we talked at the beginning, waiting for the customer to ask for cyber when not required by a contract. Insureds don't think they will have a cyber event. It won't happen to me. Well, we think that's beginning to change, but you still see it out there. Cyber losses only happen with large businesses. Absolutely not. Most are now small and medium businesses, because the hackers know that these smaller firms don't have the controls in place. Never assume an insured doesn't have an exposure. And an example of that is like a contractor. They have social engineering, invoice manipulation, they're hosting and personal information. Everybody has it. If you have a computer, you have an exposure. Selling cyber without any training, it just doesn't work. We're happy to give you the basics of training. We do it a lot. As the endorsed carrier, MGA, and Access as the carrier, we do a whole host of training, whether it's CE classes that we do at Joe Vincent or seminars. We're happy to train you and your staff. We really do enjoy it. And cyber is just another line of insurance. It is not. It is totally different. The statistics are 1 in 2.3 insureds will have some sort of cyber event. Believe it or not, like, let's look at homeowners. What is it, like 1 in 3,000 will have a fire? But homeowners insurance is required. Cyber is not. We expect that to change over time. So these are the things that we see that don't work out there right now.
Okay.
And so this is just an appendix. If you are if you are appointed with us, all you do is click on that little pointer icon, and that is where you can set up your URL for your email or for the agency. Pretty easy to do. We try to make it fast, easy, and simple for you all the time. And if you have ideas to even make it simpler, just let us know. And there is the link right there. It will have your individual name at the end with the personal link. And that is where you can just copy it, and as you can see there, and put it on your website or your email.
And just as a small plug while we've got you, to the left on the screen, you're going to see Wingman Tech E&O. A lot of businesses initially thought that the only people who needed to buy cyber insurance were tech companies, and that's completely absurd at this point. But we do think that there is a wrinkle to writing cyber for a technology company, whether it's your local IT person or a startup in your neighborhood. The line between a cyber claim and an E&O claim for those businesses is very fine. And while we'll happily write their cyber standalone all day long if you've already placed their E&O elsewhere, we do offer an E&O with the cyber coverages built in just for tech companies because the line is so thin. So we encourage you, if you have any of those types of insurance, to use that policy on the left. For all other industries, from energy companies, manufacturing, retail, restaurants, healthcare, whatever it might be, nonprofits, you can use the standalone cyber on the right-hand side. And for tech companies, you're going to use the tech E&O and cyber combined on the left.
Great. Thank you, Allie.
Okay.
And Look, we just, there's our little easy button there. We just make it easy to get quotes, and we talked about the paper app versus a platform. And let's just face it, what we're going through, there's probably going to be less eyeball to eyeball for a little while. So this will certainly help that, where you could just send your client an electronic application very quickly if you like.
Also, if you're looking for a way to really make an impact on your customers during this difficult time, there are a lot of cyber breaches going around that are coming from bad information, bad links, and bad clicks on websites about the COVID-19 virus. Making sure that businesses are vigilant when working from home is a real problem. And we're going to try to put some materials together that hopefully we can send out to everybody about staying vigilant from a cyber perspective right now. I know it's not anybody's first concern today, but hopefully soon, when we start to see the forest through the trees again, we'll be able to start making better decisions when trying to work from home.
Great. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, and we're done. So hopefully you found this helpful. If there are any questions, please pose them now. If you are not a wingman, if you're not signed up with Wingman and you are a member of the IIAT, you can email me at the below, or you can send it, through our, what is that, our help at wingmanins.com.
Or go to our website, wingmaninsurance.com. There's a live chat or a become a broker link. Any of the options are available to you. We'll get you signed up in about an hour.
Yeah, we'll get you signed up. And again, this is an exclusive program through the IIAT. We do not offer this program to non-members. So you must be a member in Texas to get access to this platform. We hope you found this helpful. We appreciate everybody's time. We certainly understand these challenging times. We're ready to assist you and with any questions you may have. So feel free to email me or our help, and we're ready to go. I don't see any questions, Ellie.
I don't either, but thank you all for your time today. Stay safe and good
We
luck.
appreciate it. Thank you.